Yes, I'm at the church right now. It looks like a rather poor showing. We'll probably get all the pieces on our list. I'll call you right after the auction.
Excuse me, is this a funeral for Forrest W. Wentworth?
The funeral was yesterday.
Oh dear, I must have misread the obituary.
You didn't misread it. The local newspaper mixed up the details between the funeral and the auction.
This is an auction?
Yes, Wentworth's executor rented this church to auction off the furniture and artworks from the mansion.
Didn't his son inherit his whole estate?
No, I'm told the son took a vow of poverty and became a missionary to Africa.
Oh, I heard that Bobby became a missionary, but
You knew the son?
Yes, my mother was the housekeeper in the Wentworth mansion for several years. We lived there. Bobby and I grew up together. Did you know the Wentworths?
No, I'm a buyer for the antique dealer. I'm here to buy the furniture and artworks.
Well, since I missed the funeral, maybe I'll stay and watch the auction. Maybe if I see some of his things, it'll bring back some memories.
Well, it looks like a rather poor showing for an auction today. Well, it's time. Let's begin. In compliance with the directions of the deceased, the first item to be auctioned off today is a portrait of the only son of the deceased, painted by Foster Wentworth himself. Mr. Wentworth did not specify a minimum bid, so we'll start the bidding at $10. So do I hear $10?
Excuse me,
Yes?
were you planning on bidding on this portrait?
No, it's not on my list.
So you wouldn't mind if I bid on it?
Not at all.
Do I hear $10? $10. Okay, we'll just set it aside and,
I'd like to bid $10.
very well. I have a bid of $10. Do I hear an advance on the $10? Do I hear 20? 15? How about 11? Any advance on the $10? $10 going once? $10 going twice? Sold for $10.
You can remain seated. They'll collect your money after the auction.
Oh, I've never done this before.
This auction is concluded.
Excuse me?
This auction is closed.
Wait a minute. The Wentworth estate has been valued in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's true, but at the request of Mr. Wentworth, the entire estate is to be awarded to the person who buys the portrait of his son.
You mean I inherit everything?
Yes,
This is highly irregular.
yes it is, but
That portrait of his son is almost worthless.
No, it's not. Mr. Wentworth painted that portrait himself. He really loved his son.
That's really beside the point.
actually, according to Mr. Wentworth, his love for his son is the point.
I don't get it.
Apparently, Mr. Wentworth became a convert to Christianity on his deathbed.
I still don't see how this changes things.
Actually, I don't either.
I think I do.
Well then, I wish you'd explain it to us.
Yes, please.
This is how it is when a person becomes a Christian.
You're not making any more sense.
Bobby Wentworth gave up everything to do God's work in Africa.
Yes, I knew that.
Well, that's pretty much the same thing that Jesus did to become a man and to do God's work here on earth.
Oh, I see.
I must be dense.
I think what Mr. Wentworth is trying to say by doing this, that if you value the Son, you get all the riches and glory of the Father, just like Jesus and his Father.
Except that in heaven there is no limit to the riches and glory.
You mean he just gives it all away?
That's right. If you value the Son, you get the riches of the Father. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Well, let's sit down and have you sign the transfer papers.
Oh, sure.
Explain this father-son thing to me again.
Based on a play by Bob Snook, Conditions for Use. Do not sell any part of this script, even if you rewrite it. Pay no royalties, even if you make money from the performance. You may reproduce and distribute this freely, but all copies must contain this statement.